Glory be to God for dappled things, for skies of coupled colour as a brinded cow, for rose moles all in stipple upon trout that swim, fresh fire-coal chestnut falls, finches' wings, landscape plotted and pieced, fold, fallow and plough, and all trades, their gear and tackle and trim, all things counter, original, spare, strange. Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how, with swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle dim, he fathers forth, whose beauty is past change. Praise him.
I think this poem is about the way that reality is built up of complex, eccentric, unusual items, things which aren't just what your eye naturally falls upon. If you actually are looking at nature, then what you're trying to deal with is a whole set of plays of light and colour that you can't quite name, that you can't quite describe. And that is the complete experience of being in the world that Hopkins is after.
The great pleasure of reading Hopkins, and it is a very great pleasure, is to have things which we have seen in nature under our noses and got blasé about or forgotten to pay attention to properly, lifted back into our apprehension as though we have never seen them before. So the stipples on the trout, the cow, the fresh fire-coal chestnut falls. I mean, all these things which are, if you like, part of the kind of common currency of living in the countryside and seeing countryside things are made extraordinarily vivid to us again.
Because he finds all of these things magical and mysterious, and he thinks language is up to the task. He thinks if he puts the stuff together in a certain pattern, then he will be able to capture these difficult, well, we'd like to call them grey areas, but they're anything but grey. You know, that they're all the colours but grey.
Through all his writing life, Gerald Manley Hopkins was essentially searching for a fresh way to see, to think, and especially to write about the nature that he saw about him. And I think that Pied Beauty is a really great example of his ongoing attempt to find a new way in which to handle language.
We think of Hopkins as somebody who is so original that he kind of made it up from nothing. Actually, the roots of these poems are very deep and very clear ones. In particular, he takes a great deal from Anglo-Saxon literature, which was very, very highly alliterative. And this poem, and this is characteristic of his work as a whole, is of course highly alliterative. Fresh fire-coal chestnut falls.
We have couple colour and rose moles and fresh fire-coal chestnut falls, fathers forth. And part of what these compound phrases achieve is this building up, this piling up of description, as if the language starts to almost sort of overflow and sort of waterfall down the page.
Fresh fire-coal, finches' wings, landscape plotted and pieced, fold, fallow and plough. And he's making little patterns of alliteration here. And that actually relates to, I think, his studies in Welsh poetry, where people would take alliteration and put it in little patterns, and then they'd play with the patterns, almost like music, almost like a piece of jazz. You know, they'd vary the order of the patterns of alliteration.
With swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle dim. I mean, that's a really audacious line to place in your poem. But what it does, it gives these poems a real sense of energy.
Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how, with swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle dim, he fathers forth, whose beauty is past change. praise him.